Hello, and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 3 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the Community Manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, is FHM producer Jeff, who is pictured on your screen. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with the 1973 LA Kings, and we are in the playoffs.
And just barely. We kind of squeezed into the last playoff spot. It's kind of a disappointing season for us. We finished a little lower than we did the year before. Although I'd still say we're, reasonably good contenders. Wound up with the very last playoff spot. We've got St. Louis in the first round in the West Division semifinals, or I guess it would have been called the quarter. I can't remember what it was called at this point. Quarterfinal, conference semifinals. Who knows? So we are fourth. They are first. So we're just trying to have a look at the matchup we've got right now. St. Louis, the big problem is probably going to be Tony Esposito in goal for them. On top of being 5 stars goalie, he's also at 4 on his heat rating. So he is really hot, and he's probably the best goalie in the league. Other than that, they look kind of vulnerable. A lot of 1.5-star guys on defense. A couple of them, Jim Schoenfeld and Larry Giroux, are the only above-average guys they've got defensively. They wound up with a bunch of guys who would actually go into the going to be pretty big scorers in the WHA, but haven't gone there in this game. Mark Tardif, Andre Lacroix, Rick McLeish, flyer in real life, Rene Robert, and Craig Ramsey from the would have been Sabres at this point in the real NHL. But they're getting plenty of scoring, so you can see why they've done that well this year. A couple 100-plus point guys. And, is it 7, 8, 50-plus point scorers. So they've got scoring, they got goaltending. The D is a little questionable, but we're going to be in tough here. And as far as how we did this season, not bad. I mean, Reggie Leach finally broke out. Had a few guys, and, Anders Hedberg's coming along. Borges Salming, if you haven't watched this before, we kind of loaded it up on Swedes in the entry draft. We've got Hedberg, Salming, Andolf Nielsen and Willie Lindstrom's coming along as well. Pretty good defense, fairly tough team. Maybe could use a little bit more secondary scoring, but we can almost keep up with the Blues. So this is probably going to come down to if our D can outplay theirs a little bit, and if we get good goaltending. So I think this is pretty much the group we're going to go with as far as who gets dressed. Don't think I'm going to change anything there. And let's see what the AI wants to do with us as far as the lines go. Oh, it wants Catola on the fourth line. I'm going to switch that up a little bit. One thing we think we maybe need to look for in the next off season is a little bit more defensive or checking forwards. We've got a lot of guys who can score on the first 3 lines, not that many that are solid defensively. Although Billy Harris is going to be coming along. O'Reilly's not bad, but he's still pretty young. Defense can probably stay as it is. Power play, yeah, that looks all right. And then one nice thing is we've got everybody back from injuries. So we had a few injuries, I think, through the season, and we're relatively healthy now. So let's get this ahead to first game of the series. Going to global tactics. One thing I am going to do a little bit differently that I usually don't do is go with specifically a shooting target. Since Esposito's in goal, he was kind of one of the first of the butterfly goalies. I'm going to start shooting high on him instead of mixing it up, because you're going to get very few through the 5-hole on him.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, glove side or stick side. Trying to remember how he's rated. I think we're going to try high on the stick side. try that for game one. If we get shut out, we'll switch it back. And the rest that stay as it is. And Cheevers, unfortunately, is stone cold right now. 0 heat rating, so that may be a bit of a problem for us. But he's still so much better than our backup Wash that it makes sense to start him. So I will just do this on sim period end and go through that at really high speed.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oops. And Reggie Leach opens up the scoring for us about 15 seconds in, so good news there. And some pretty good pressure on Esposito early, 4-0, 5-0 for us on shots. So we're coming out strong here. We might just be able to pull off an upset, who knows?
Crazier things have happened. Like the Leafs beating us in every single game.
Well, we lately we've taken a few off them, but still. And Von Lab ties it up for St. Louis. And Dave Ballin, still in the league at this point, I guess, makes it 2-1 Blues. So now we're into trouble. At least he got one. I'd like to get one, decent game out of Cheevers and maybe get a little wind under his sails so we can have a little bit of a shot at beating out Esposito in the next couple of games. But right now there's a pretty big advantage in goal. Let's see, tactics-wise. Oh boy, they got a big step up on us there. And Norm Baudin. 3-1 Blues at the end of I'm getting near the end of the first, so this is not going well. Ouch. 4-1.
Ooh.
And then we immediately go down to the King. No, that's us. We gave them a 2-man advantage right after that, which they fortunately didn't score on. So 4-1 after one of the first period, and we're getting outshot pretty badly, so I can't really put all of that on Esposito. But I think I'm going to have to make some tactical changes for game 2 because I think this one is almost out of reach already.
Or maybe we just let it ride a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the game ratings right now. O'Reilly's having a terrible game defensively. -2 defensive game rating is down to 30. Offensively seems like we're doing okay. It's just 1 or 2 lines that have had complete breakdowns. At least no more goals through this period, and the shots are relatively stable. And 5-1 Blues. So I think I'm just going to stop this and sim to the end of it because I can't see us coming back in this one. Ouch, 8-3 final score.
Well, at least we got a couple more.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, a couple. Yeah, Reggie Leach had a couple goals there. Reggie Leach wound up with a hat trick, scored 2 goals in the third. So our first line showed up, and nobody else did. So I'm going to have to make some pretty big changes, I think, for the next game. And Keith Magnuson managed to get hurt on top of that sore hand, so put him out for the second game and put Gilles Marat in. Go ahead.
Just before we do that, we're coming up here, and obviously we're going to be getting to free agency and the draft pretty soon. Is there anyone we need to sign? I usually ask this, but just as a one last check.
Yeah, I think I'm probably waiting until after the season to do it.
Okay.
It's just that there's nobody, no big ones. Ted McAneely, Bill White, who's, White is kind of going downhill at this point, even if he is our captain. And McAneely's done. Oh, he barely played for us this year, actually. Looks like he was hurt most of the time. Okay. Juggle that around. Yeah, that all seems to make sense. Okay, game 2, and I'm going to have a look at the what we can do tactics-wise to even that up a little bit. I mean, we did get 3 goals on Esposito, so that wasn't a bad performance, so I'm not changing the shooting thing at all. Put O'Reilly into the tough guy role a little more. Don't really want Bob Berry trying to do that. And change our centers off playmaker to setup man. Get a few more countering rolls in there.
Right. This time in the NHL, you only have 17. No, that's not right.
17 skaters, 2 goalies?
Yeah, 17 skaters. Yeah. I was going to say 17. No, wait, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, okay.
Okay, and put somebody in front of the net on the power play, maybe. See if that helps. Oh, the AI actually wants to start Melange for game 2. What the hell, I'm going to go with it. He's got 2 heat rating. If we've got a hot goalie in the playoffs, might as well go with him.
Probably. Although that's surprising that, I mean, it's not like our other goalie's bad.
Yeah, he did let in 8 goals, though.
Well, yeah.
And Bill White opens the scoring for us. But yeah, this first game, and this is starting pretty much identically to how the other game started, although we're holding on to the lead. And naturally, since I say we're holding on to the lead, they tie it up.
That usually seems to happen.
But we get a late one, 2-1 for Catola. And we're leading on shots and up 2-1 at the end of the first. So we can still steal home ice here, if we can pull this one out. Halfway through the second, and still 2-1. They seem to be taking a few penalties. And 2-1 end of the second, and we're out shooting them 20-12, so those tactical changes worked, I think. And Melange has been playing pretty well in goal, yeah. Nothing so far in the third, through the first half of the third. We haven't had a single shot yet, but aren't giving up that many either. And Bob Berry makes it 3-1. I think we're going to steal it. No, Dave Ballin, 3-2. Got to hang in here. Oh, come on. Melange gives up one with 1:44 left.
Of course.
And we're into OT. Okay, we got to win. It's not quite the season, but pretty close to it. We really... And Mark Tardif wins it for them in overtime.
Okay, Gudu Creative in the chat says, Adam, met the Jets in the 2044 finals and beat them 4-1 in the series. So I guess we have to figure out a way to ban Gudu from the chat. He's going to be throwing that around. You're supposed to let him win, Gudu.
Yep, 2:06 of the first overtime. Mark Tardif with his second to the playoffs, second to the game. And we are down 2-0. I mean, I'll put Cheevers back in for the next game, but other than that, I don't think I'm going to change the strategy too much.
I think you should sim through the third game. I got a feeling if we sim it through, we'll win.
You think so?
I got a feeling.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure Cheevers is in. Other than that, we'll go with your feeling there, and sim game, and we win 3-2
Ah, there we go.
in overtime. Who got it? Dan Maloney, 12:31 of the first overtime period.
Excellent.
And who's playing well? Yeah, it looks like everybody did reasonably well. No really big standouts. Salming had an 83 game rating, not too bad.
Gudu agrees sim to win, so I think you better sim the next one.
Salming first star. Okay, let me just make sure. Whoops, finished today. And no new injuries. Magnuson still isn't back. I'd like to get him back. Okay, game 4. Cheever's still in goal. Here goes the sim. 6-3 Blues.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That hurts.
So down 3-1. 5 assists for Andre Lacroix. And Cheevers, 5 goals on only 28 shots against. I think I got to go back to Melange for game 5, maybe. Yeah, Lacroix even got a news story about that one. Okay. Game 5. Gonna try Melange in goal. Do I sim it or not?
I think you got to sim it.
5-4 Kings. Another overtime win. So 3 games into overtime in this series. We're playing them pretty evenly. Don Marcotte, first playoff goal. 15 minutes into overtime. Just going to take a quick look at the playoff stats. Yeah, Catola 7 points. Yeah, we've got... Oh wow, Leach hasn't done anything since that first game. 1 goal in 4 games. Yeah, we really need... And for a team that was pretty high scoring, got a lot of guys not carrying their weight here. But Melange, it's not like Melange has really been out playing Cheevers. They both have save percentages around 850. Do I go with Melange again for game 6, or do we put Cheevers back in?
Melange won us the last one. I think we hold on to him. Ride the hot goalie.
Okay. Yeah, it is the playoffs. He's got 3-star and 3 heat rating. And sim it again, I guess.
Fingers crossed.
End of the road. 2-0 Blues. So we finally get a good game out of our goalie, and we get no scoring to help him.
Sounds like that's about what would happen to us, but hey, when you're playing the best team in the league, which I think they were, that's...
Yep, they were by pretty decent margin. Well, better than all the Eastern teams, at least. So let's just see how the other playoffs are going. Looks like the Rangers are going to beat Montreal. Chicago swept California, which is a bit of an upset. And Boston sweeps the Leafs. Play forward about... Oh, let me get those guys in the contracts that we wanted to deal with. McAneely, who didn't have much of a season, but let's see what he wants. He's making $39,000 now. Wants 68 for 4, and he's only 22, so I think that's worth doing. I'm going to give it to him. The other one is Bill White, 45,000 contract right now, 2.5 stars, but every development report we get seems to be with it. He's declining, and he's our captain. Oh, and he wants a three-year deal at 33, and I know he's not going to. He's headed downhill. I'm going to see if I... Will he take that dollar amount for a one-way deal? And I'll even throw in a no-trade clause. No, he's insisting on the 3 years.
Then he can insist on finding his way out.
Yeah, you can, I think, go over to the WHA most likely. Because we've got a few other... Oh, he's about our 1, 2, 3, fourth best defenseman. What do we got in the minors? Oh yeah, we got Dennis Kern still coming. And we'll probably get somebody in the draft too. Yeah, I think we can cover for that. That's not a big worry. Just going to renew a couple of minor leaguers here. Yeah, he doesn't want to sign. WHA guy, I guess.
How many contracts do we have at this time anyways? Probably
37, so nothing to worry about really.
all right.
Actually, I think we must have done this last time because I'm not really seeing that many
No, I think we did.
guys I'm interested in signing. Yeah, so we got, I think McAneely was the main one. And
Yeah,
we'll
I think that was the one I was concerned about.
We'll let White walk and find a new captain next year. And I'm just going to run this out a week at a time. We'll see how the playoffs go. Oh, Montreal came back and beat the Rangers. I think they were down, weren't they? And playing Chicago in the second round, and St. Louis up 2-0 over Boston in their series. And looks like we got a St. Louis Chicago final.
Interesting.
So both teams from the our division. Now Chicago swept California and swept Montreal. So they're suddenly getting hot. Now we got a development report in there. And that series finals tied 2-2 after 4 games. Just going to take a quick look at my mail. Uh-oh, Cheevers lost a point.
A full point?
Not a star, but professionalism. One of his mental ratings went down by 1. Slightly worrying. And we're still getting reports on some of the WHA guys we own the rights to. They're improving. Not much else to of interest. And looks like the season's over, and the winner was the Hawks beat the Blues 4-2. So Chicago's the 3rd place team in the West. We were the 4th, and they wound up winning the cup. Take a quick look at how they did that. They've still got. They never traded away Phil Esposito or Ken Hodge in this game, so they've got them. Oh, they picked up Ivan Hlinka at some point. Yeah, pretty solid team. I wonder who they got in goal. No, Michel Place, of all people. Who's, I think, still in the Montreal farm system at this point in real life. Looks like he's developed a little faster than he actually did. And winds up winning a cup, huh? And did we win any awards? Redmond, Vachon, LaPointe. Nope, absolutely no individual awards.
That's slightly disappointing, but
We won. Wasn't much of a season for us, really.
no.
And anything else you can think of that we need to do before we go around to the free agent deadline?
Nothing's coming to mind. There's at this point, there's not a lot of free agents available, anyways.
Yeah.
The only thing would be, I guess, is if we look at trying to maybe move up in the draft, because this next one should be a famous draft coming with a fairly good player up high.
Yeah, Denny Potvin is first overall.
No, isn't it McDonald this year? 73?
Yeah, McDonald and Potvin.
Was Potvin.
But I don't think we're going to get anywhere near either one of those. Looks like Minnesota's got the first overall. And the Islanders second, so...
Alright, well, you try it. See if we can try and trade our way up here a little bit. I'm going to try in my game as well.
Just wondering, what can we move? We've got a few extra centers.
What extra picks do we have? Because I think we got some extra picks, don't we?
We have...
Oh, no.
No, nothing at all. Just our own picks this year.
Alright. So, who finished?
Minnesota was last. They want a right defenseman, so that's... I don't think there's any chance at all where we're going to be able to get that pick out of them.
Alright, let's just hold on. Let's see here. Minnesota. What are we willing to give up, anyways? I mean, if we're...
We've got forwards. That's the main thing, but they're looking for a defenseman.
That doesn't mean they wouldn't take a forward.
Let me try Katola for a swap of picks. Yeah, so they know that pick is so high that they're not going to trade. I don't think we're going to be able to get a top 5 pick. And we would be drafting 5... We're drafting 9th overall, so I don't think we're going to be able to move up more than 3 picks or so. And let me have a look at the draft. Oh, that's right. It doesn't fill in until the start of the next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's not much of a point in trying to trade up right now. I think we're probably better sticking with this roster and building, slowly for next season.
Okay. Oh, wait a second here.
Or maybe trying to make a trade on draft day. That's another option.
Well, I am on draft day for...
Oh, you did go ahead to draft? Yeah, I'm still at the free agent deadline, so I'm going to let it go up to the start of the next season. I'm not going to try and make a trade below the end or before the end of the year.
Keep plugging away here for a second.
And doesn't look like there's any big news for us. Oh wow, Glenn Hall was still on the Hawks roster. Hasn't retired yet, 41. He was their backup in that playoff run, I guess. And mostly about guys who aren't re-signing. WHA should be able to grab a few NHLers this year. And Gordie Howe named to the Hall of Fame.
Just as he should be.
Yeah. Would have been nice to have him around for another 6 years or so like he actually was, but... Or actually, no, he was named to the Hall of Fame before he went to the WHA. And speaking of the WHA, I forgot to look how their season turned out. And Alberta Oilers, Avco Cup champions in a 4-0 sweep over the Jets.
That's all I can say is ugh.
Anybody interesting on the Oilers team? Stan Weir, Dennis Hextall. Yeah, not a lot of big names in the first WHA season. You didn't get any Bobby Hulls moving over. Okay, let's advance this to 73-74 then. And we're going to lose a few free agents, Bill White and some of the guys. Oh, did anybody retire on us? Nope, doesn't look like it. Now Dave Ballin, who had a couple of goals against us in the playoffs, looks like he retired. And having a look at the free agents, probably set the age filter so we're not looking at the guys who aren't eligible to play yet. Some Russians who won't come over. Rick Lay is available. Didn't re-sign with Toronto. And 24 2-stars, 3-star potential. I'm going to make him an offer. Oh, is his... Oh, right, yeah, his rights are still with the Leafs, so forget that. Yeah, nothing really there other than that. So, play ahead to the amateur draft. And were you able to make any trades on draft day?
The Vancouver Canucks would give up their first-round pick, which was 5th overall in my game. NHL Guy 64 says hey in the chat as well, so hey to you.
You're going to make me steal from the Canucks.
Well, you give a 1st and an 8th-round pick, and they'll let you go up to the 5th pick. And then I've been trying to entice the New York Islanders to trade down.
What was the Canucks deal again?
Sorry?
What was the deal you made with the Canucks?
A 1st and an 8th for their first.
Don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try giving them a player instead. Let's see if they want Steve West.
Buffalo.
Okay, Steve West was a part-timer for us last year and our first rounder for their first rounder. And they went for it. So we moved down slightly, or moved down up in the draft. And were you having any luck with getting the Islanders to move theirs?
That was the most confusing sentence you've ever said. We've moved down up.
I said we moved down, and then I corrected myself to up. So what about the Islanders? Did they...
I haven't been able to successfully do that, so I've been trying to work on Buffalo, because they're just one pick ahead, I think, and they're looking for a defenseman, so I've been trying to see if I get them to take Kearns, but it seems everybody's fairly well entrenched, unless you can think of an offer.
Yeah, well, Potvin and McDonald are almost definitely going 1-2, and then after that it gets pretty dodgy. Blaine Stoughton, Pat Hickey, BJ McDonald, Eric Vale, he started off pretty strong, but kind of faded out fast. But yeah, it's the same type of guys. A lot of scoring forwards, not so many. Oh, Bob Gainey.
I just offered.
That would help with our
Buffalo to move up one slot. I offered them our first-round pick and Salming, and they still said no.
Well, okay. Well, that's not going to happen then.
Yeah,
but I think what I could say, I think Bob Gainey is still going to be available at 4. There's a couple of 3.5, 4-star guys who are rated, so I think I'm going to grab him, and that'll fix our defensive forward problem pretty much immediately. So there we go. Yeah, Minnesota takes Potvin first, then the Islanders take Lanny McDonald. Ken Houston to the Flyers at 3rd, Blaine Stoughton to the Sabres at 4th. And we can take Hickey, Pat Hickey, who's 3.5 stars, but I'm going to take Gainey instead.
I was just going to say, hold on 1 second here. I just need to think this out. Is there any way we could trade back in and still grab Gainey? Because, I mean, he is fairly far down on that list. Should we?
He's far down, but I don't know if I really trust the AI not to, even if we move down to like 7th or 8th. No, I don't want to take the chance. He's exactly what we need. We're probably using a pick might be a little high to grab him, but in the long run, I think it'll be worth it. That's potential future captain too. Now watch, I'm gonna go pick by pick, and there's no way of telling. Yeah, it's not like the next few picks were that we really missed out on anything there. Okay, second rounder. Probably need a defenseman, but there aren't really any available. Chalupa is a Czech, so he's not coming over. Zetterstrom. Bob Gassoff, who was a pretty good defenseman, wound up being killed in an off-season accident in, I think, 77, I think. It's one option. Or Dennis Ochar, who is right-handed, a really big hitter, and decent two-way defenseman. So I think one of those two guys. Oops. Yeah, it drops off after that. I think I'm going to go with Ochar.
You should have listened to me.
Oh, you got it to work?
I was just playing around to see if I could do this, and so I took Hickey with the 5th pick, and I traded back into the first round at pick 16 and took Gainey there.
Oh, we went that far down. Oh, that surprises me.
Well, he still hadn't gone yet, and I decided to trade back in.
Yeah.
So, and all I did was give up our second round pick and the rights to Bill White.
And in the third round, Tom Younghans was a pretty good defensive forward for a couple of years. I think I'll take him. And yeah, this sort of just completely falls apart after the first couple of rounds. Not as strong, or not, at least not a deep draft. We'll go with the Swede Zetterstrom. He's the only 2-star potential guy left. And yeah. Oh, is that Randy Holt? I can always use another tough guy. And none of these later guys we're probably going to sign, so... Although I think we did lose a few guys to free agency.
Do we really need any guys who are half-stars on our team?
Well, if they can fight.
Maybe. But we don't want a team full of half-star guys.
Oh, and just out of curiosity, what did the Canucks do with that number 8 we picked? Or number 9. Oh, they took Bob Daly, the guy they actually wound up with, so that worked out okay for them, I think. Oops.
I was half expecting them to take a Russian.
Okay, so who do we have to sign here? Gainey obviously gets a contract. And he's asking for a reasonable amount. Give that to him. And yeah, I've got a few 1.5, 2-star guys. Younghans pretty reasonable. Yeah, which are, yeah, none of these guys is asking for a ton of money. And then there's a few of the free agents who didn't want to sign with us. Take a look and see what our roster looks like right now. Move Kearns up. Minor leagues are looking kind of thin. We got nothing but left wings down there and left defensemen, so gonna have to try and sign a few of our unsigned guys. Fortunately, everybody I think is going to be willing to sign for a fairly cheap amount. Yeah, a few guys on WHA contracts.
No, that's okay.
And I think I signed Ocean. Get Humphreys too. And I may pick over the free agent pool after this, just in case there's somebody left after. I'll run this to the end of July and get our contract responses back. Yeah, looks like everybody signed. A few trades around the league. Nothing special in the development report. And Bill White signed with the Jets.
Seems about right.
Yeah, so WHA will probably be a little stronger this year now that they've had a, I think, better shot at some of the NHL free agents. We're not looking too bad, though. And we'll see in training. Actually, I won't mess with the roster anymore until the start of training camp, I think. Yeah, what happened to all that center and right wing depth we had?
Disappears pretty quickly all of a sudden.
Yeah, have to grab a couple of free agents, I think. Oh, Darcy Rhoda somehow got passed over in the draft. Now for him a contract, Norm Barnes as well. So a couple of three-star potential guys got missed out on. I don't know if Barnes is actually going to be 3, but Rhoda should turn into a decent player. And wow, yeah, there's just nothing here at all. It's all half-star, and I'm going to sign a center and a right wing, but oh, we've actually got a couple of one-star potential centers and right wings, so I don't know who these guys are, but
might as well sign them.
yeah, might as well sign them, just get them for the sake of getting a little depth. Of course, somebody else might make them an offer because there's not much in the way of a free agent pool. And Elvis, Rhoda Smith, and... Oh no, we got all the free agents we tried.
That's pretty good then.
Well, until you consider that they're all pretty bad, but yeah.
Well, it's better than them going, no, we're going somewhere else.
True. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we need to do right now, so I will run this through to the start of preseason. Unless something ugly happens in the off season, we should be okay here. Looks like Chicago re-signed Glenn Hall and then traded into the Flyers. And okay, here's our training camp development. One of them, Drep Barnes, the defenseman we just signed, out a bunch of improvement. That's good. Battleship Kelly finally coming along. That's really good news too. Oh, we had Lars Lincoln. I didn't even remember that. And yeah, Ochar, second rounder, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 improvement points, so he should be up to 2.5 stars, I bet.
Excellent.
And not too many on the decline side, so let's have a look at our roster. I can move that spare parts signing down. And what do we got? Young Hands, third rounder, is going to go down to the farm because he's still only 1.5. Centers look okay. Yeah, other than Gainey, we're going to have pretty much the same forward lineup as last year. Going to have to send Kelly down. And defenseman, oh, Kern's finally made it to 2.5 stars.
Excellent.
Magnuson seems to have leveled off though. McAneely had 3, Urbano and Ocharo 2.5 stars. So fairly good defensive depth. And I think Marad is going to have to start the season on the farm team. Let's see how the AI will put this together. Going to bench Kearns, which is okay. He doesn't want to play Bob Berry. That's a surprise. Take Vanaski out and put Berry in. And we need a new captain.
It's time for Salming to be the captain, maybe.
Actually, Salming's leadership is way down there. I think I'm going to give it to Marcotte. He's only joined us near the end of last year, but he's 19. Alf Nielsen's an 18, but he's still fairly... Yeah, we got him from Boston. Still pretty young.
How did we get him from Boston? Remind me on that.
That was the same deal as Marcotte. That was Marcotte, Nielsen, and Kane for Dave Burrows, Ernie Hick, and Derek Sanderson. And we gave him quite a bit there, but I think that's going to pay off in the long term. So I'm going to make Marcotte the captain. And I think, yeah, this isn't so good. Actually, we got all the Swedes on the team. I am going to make Nielsen the second assistant. And anything interesting going on the farm team? Nope, no significant improvements at all, it looks like. And our third string goalie showed up out of shape, Mike Curran. But we got a little depth there we can trade eventually, and we're still only at 40 contracts.
Having some trade bait is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I like our depth. Goaltending is still solid. I think our D has actually improved a little even with White leaving. We've got a lot of younger guys coming on. And yeah, plenty of scoring. Oops, did we run out of... Oh, we forgot to re-sign our assistant coaches. Oops.
Well, that's not great, but easy enough to fix.
Yeah. A lot of guys out there. And I mean, we're a playoff team. Everybody should be happy to sign with us.
You would hope so.
Yeah. Do we need anything else? I could use a couple more scouts too. Don't really need a ton of scouts for historical mode, but since you're not going to you don't have to look as nearly as many players as you do in the modern game. But I will sign 4 of them, I think.
Yeah, in a modern game I have going, I think I have about... Well, hold on. Let me just open up that save file and take a look. Yeah, I have about 30 scouts.
Yeah, I mean, that's about ballpark right size for an modern NHL staff. Okay, I think we're all set up here. See what the assistant wants to do with new assistant wants to do with our forward lines. Leech on the third line, that's a little surprising. Oh, tactics, I was going to take a look at... I'm going to stick with our offensive system, but I'm going to change up the defensive one a little bit.
Time for a fire wagon.
I'm kind of going in the other direction.
How about the 1-3-1-4 check?
Actually, I'm going to go with the 1-2-2. A little surprised that Leech is getting pushed down. I'm going to swap Leech and Hedberg. The roles can, yeah, stay as they are. Oh, Nielsen was on the first line. Okay, hang on. Maybe I do want Hedberg up there.
I kind of feel like we should go out and trade for Hall myself. Just
Yeah,
make
because
it come
the
quick.
last time we traded for 40-something for winger, that worked out so well.
I'm just telling you what. He's not that old at this point. Unless
But he's been declining pretty badly. I gotta
yeah.
look it up. But
Well, maybe he would be rejuvenated playing with some young
oops, he's in
young
Atlanta.
forwards.
Had 73 points last year, so I actually did pretty well for the Flames. But I mean, we've got... No, I think we got too many guys that would really be ahead of him in the lineup. Literally all four of our wingers are 3 stars or better, and he's only 2.5. I mean, he might be work out better on the offensive line, but no, I think I like what I have here.
All right.
Zoom through the preseason, I think. I just want to see the final stats on this to see if we got anything weird going on. Looks like Terry O'Reilly got hurt at one point, but I think he's back. Yep. Oh no, he's still bruised ribs for the opener. So we lose Terry O'Reilly for a game or two. Shouldn't be that bad. And we were 2-3-2 in the exhibition season, which is slightly disappointing.
That's on the exhibition.
Oh, yeah, Leach with 10 points, Catola with 10. Oh, we were scoring for sure. But where we yeah, Cheevers got shelled, 475 goals against average. Yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for that new defensive tactic. So
For sure.
just don't panic at the start of the season if it's going to be a little rough for the first few games, I think. And oh great, home openers against Blackhawks.
Excellent.
Cheevers and goals, so I'll just watch this one. Should give us a pretty good feel of how this season's going to go.
Sure. And probably a good spot to wrap up here, too.
Oh yeah, we're getting up top of the hour, aren't we? Okay, so we'll just play this opener out. And I say if we can even stay reasonably close to these guys because they're the Cup champions, we will be a contender this year. And 1-0 for the Hawks at the almost the end. Yeah, at the end of the first period, outshot 12-5. Not incredibly impressive. Although at least Cheevers wasn't as bad as he'd been in the playoffs of the exhibition season. Still 1-0 halfway through the second. We are getting outshot badly. Yeah, we were having trouble with the new tactic, I think. 1-0
That's going to happen for a bit.
1-0 end of the second. Finally getting a few more shots. Until Ken Hodge makes it 2-0. So come on, guys. Don't get shut out in the opener. I got to open it up a little bit more, I think. And there we go. And Billy Harris at least makes it 2-1, so even if we lose, it's relatively close. And Hlinka into the empty net, so 3-1 Chicago final score. So I know, does that count as keeping it close?
Yeah, I think so. Other than getting wickedly outshot, but
Yeah, 39-17. Nobody with a really terrible game, just sort of a generally mediocre effort overall. Oh no, Marcotte was bad. 34 defensive score. Oh yeah, our first line did not do well. Okay, but yeah, I think we're going to have to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
And we will get back to this in a couple of weeks. We got your Wings game next week.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager 3 stream. We stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. If you're watching this archive, then you're probably watching it on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments. And you can find every single one of our streams archived on there, as well as videos from Out of the Park Baseball, including the park's own Chief Marketing Officer Rich Grisham, who recently appeared on MLB Now. Video just went live today on our YouTube channel. If you want to talk to us more about Franchise Hockey Manager, you can come to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. Or you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. And you can click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will take you to our official forums. I would also recommend that you don't spend let me rephrase that. I would also recommend you should, if you have not already, sign up for our newsletter, because you never know when news might be coming out about things. Right, Jeff?
Definitely. I mean, we've made some big progress in the last couple of weeks on FHM4, so you are going to start hearing news about that very soon. I can't say too much about it now, but lots of interesting things coming there. And other than that, I guess we will see you guys all next week. I'm just having a look here through the WHA. Looks like they've signed a bunch of interesting players for their second season. Philadelphia's moved to Vancouver, so we've actually got Vancouver has 2 Major League Hockey teams.
Not bad at all.
I don't think either one of them is going to make the playoffs. But we will have a look at that in a couple of weeks and be back with the Wings next week. So hopefully we can finally turn that game around. We're going to make the playoffs this year?
We'll find out. We didn't get fired. That's the most important thing. And I have made a lot of changes that people have not seen. So we'll have some fun discussing that in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the broadcast, I'm sure.
Okay, so tune in early next week, and until then, we will. Thanks for coming out, and we will see you in a week from now.